next, Marshall A-Hole. MMA-holes, 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 MMA-holes.
No way.
Oh!
Yes. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We are here. We are live. That's right, live on a Monday night. How about them apples? Monday night with the MMA-holes. How are you feeling? I hope everyone's good. I hope everyone is...
Wonderful.
I hope everyone is wonderful. Now, I've got summoned to the show today. Today, the MMA Hour was on. Ariel Helwani was doing his interviews. Stellar job as usual. And he had a bunch of good interviews today. But one stuck out a little bit more than the others. And that would be the Tyron Woodley interview. That's the one I wanted to see because he already tweeted out, brace yourself. You know, he's got a lot to say. He's ready to roll. He's ready to rock. And I knew it was going to be a good one. So I sat there. I watched the Tyron Woodley interview. And I wasn't shocked. It was the Tyron Woodley interview. Nothing got accomplished. It was ridiculous. So what I decided to do is tonight go through that Tyron interview with you. The Tyron Woodley interview with Ariel Helwani. I decided, let's watch it together like a big happy family. Let's just do that. That'd be a lot of fun. Now, the name of this stream is Why Tyron Woodley is Not a Superstar. And the reason he is not a superstar is going to be explained to you tonight. Superstar. He has all these things. He went on his little, he said a couple of racist things. You know, he used the race card. He pulled the race card. He said a lot of things that he's complaining about, and his feelings are hurt. And all this blah, 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 blah bullshit. Okay? I'm going to talk to you guys about that. Now, there is a reason why Tyron Woodley is not a superstar. Okay? There's a lot of reasons why he's not a superstar. Is Tyron Woodley a bad guy? No, he's not a bad guy. Actually, he seems like a really nice guy. He really does. He could be a very likable guy. The problem with Tyron Woodley is he says the wrong things. He does the wrong things. And he's not getting the attention that he deserves. He's a great fighter. He's a good fighter. He could be a spectacular fighter. He could be on top of the game. He has the belt. He is the 170-pound champ of the UFC. He should be on top of the world. He's not using this opportunity wisely. Why, do you ask? Well, let's go here. I'm going to take you guys on a trip, on an adventure, on a journey to my living room, my MMA-hole living room. Hey, look at that. Tyron Woodley. How are you? I hope you're wonderful. I'm wonderful. I hope everyone's wonderful. In there, you see my cell phone, you see the chat, you see the TV, where I will be showing the Tyron Woodley interview. I'm going to be talking to you guys through it. As you can see, there's two tip jars. There's a tip jar, and there's a prick jar. Now, guys, learn this. Where is it? This is my tip jar. I work for tips, meaning thumbs ups. Just throw a thumb in that jar. It's very nice. The other jar's for the pricks, and you can see it over there. Are you guys ready? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into the chat. I'm going to say hello to my friends because I see my friends are here. And I like when my friends are here. Hello, friends. I see Mexican is here. Black Cauldron. It's time. In the words of Kanye. Okay. That was a bad Kanye. J Hobo's here as well. Talking shit about Woodley, you racist. Is this the intro with Carrie's elbow drop? No. Carrie's elbow drop got a little ruined. We'll talk about that another time. Say Give My House is here. Shout out to the MMA-holes. Joey with the numbers is here. What the fuck? Streams are not showing up in my sub box tonight. Well, you know what? Real quick, before I get started with that, I don't know what's going on. YouTube is a bitch. It really is a bitch. Everyone make sure you click that stupid bell next to the subscribe thing. But I have bells that are clicked, and I'm not getting notified either. So the only thing I could say is stay subscribed and keep that bell clicked. And hopefully everyone is wonderful and sees what's going on. But here, let's not get sidetracked. Let's not do that. let's talk about something here which I need to address. This is a moment in time that I need to address. Now, if you guys enjoy this, I will do more of these. It might get pulled down because I'm playing someone else's YouTube video, but it's not that I'm playing their video. I'm commenting over this video. I want to go with you guys. I want to hold your hands. I want you guys to keep that chat going, and I want to talk to you and see what you guys think about this. So here it is. This is Tyron Woodley on the Ariel Helwani show, okay? Now, in the beginning of the interview, he's with Sage, Super Sage Northcutt, and they're just basically talking about their new bromance, which is really bizarre. I mean, the two of them, it's an odd combo, but regardless, that's their business. Okay? So you guys ready? Are you guys fucking ready to start this puppy off? I'm ready. Let's do this.
That is great to hear. Okay, let's talk about you. No secret, it has been an interesting, few days for you. Ever since that media tour started with the ESPN interview and then a few others afterwards. Let's start with this. Do you regret anything that you've said over the past few days?
What do you think he's going to say? Do you regret anything over the past couple of days, like a few days? Like, what do you think? You think he's going to be like, yeah, I regret it. Now, listen, I'm not asking this guy to apologize, okay? I'm not asking to apologize. Honestly, freedom of speech, you could say whatever the fuck you want. I'm cool with that. The big issue that I have here is that Tyron Woodley is complaining and whining about everything and wondering why he gets booed at press conferences and is wondering why he's not getting the chances that he thinks he deserves. Because you're whining all the fucking time. That's why. So listen, you can say whatever you want. You can call anyone racist. I don't give a fuck what you say about that. But I'm just explaining to you why you're getting treated the way you're getting treated. Back to the show.
You know, it's funny, and before we even start, because I know we're going to get into this, I want to just make sure everybody know that, one, Wonder Boy has never said anything or done anything racist towards me. I do not think Wonder Boy is racist himself. And also make sure you check us out, Fight March 4th, 2017, to the UFC 209. We'll be getting down in Las Vegas, buy it on pay-per-view. So I want to make that clear. And
Yeah, shameless plug. That's fine. All right.
I looked at the video before you called me because I wanted to make sure. This is a sensitive subject. A lot of people aren't going to like it. I can explain, so I'm blue in the face. Some people still would never agree with me. They would still think that, I'm playing the victim. But I had to watch, and just a facial expression that Wonder Boy was having when we were doing the interview, he was looking a bit puzzled. He was looking like...
Why do you think Wonder Boy was looking puzzled? Seriously. Why? Wonder Boy looked puzzled because you called all of his freaking fans racist. Of course he looked puzzled. He doesn't understand. Tyron, seriously, there's trolls on Twitter. They say racial things. Everyone, it happens. It's part of freaking Twitter. Why does he look puzzled? Come on, Tyron. Come on. You're killing me.
Like, I don't know where he's getting that from. So I'm not saying that he won't understand it. He won't get it because it's not him.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
it's not him.
And a part of the problem is individuals, Sage is a perfect example as well. We picked Sage up from the airport on Martin Luther King Day. We went down Skid Row and we looked at, how blessed we are. And that, man, everything is not that bad. We think things are so bad for us. And I'm like, this is bad, man. And we really was counting our blessings. And, we went to watch Birth of a Nation together. I know it sounds crazy, but he walked out of there mad because he didn't realize those things happened. He was like, why did they do that? I'm mad. So I feel like Wonder Boy.
Now, for you guys that aren't MMA fans, Sage Northcutt is a clean cut. He's whiter than white. He's like a bimbo. He's like a bimbo male. If there's a way to say bimbo male, it's Sage Northcutt. Seems like a real likable kid, nice kid. Actually, he's a talented fighter. He's a young guy, has a lot of promise in the UFC. And Tyron Woodley is using Sage Northcutt to be that body to be like Wonder Boy, to mimic Wonder Boy's style. Do I think it's similar? No, but hey, whoever you need to help you win a fight, that's your thing. Sage Northcutt is just chilling with Woodley, and they're checking out all this stuff, and Sage Northcutt is baffled by what the white man is doing.
Boys in that same category. He himself, his family, and probably the people he surrounds himself has probably never participated in racism, never treated someone differently because of their gender, their race, or their background. But that does not mean it does not exist. And I think what we have is we have individuals who have not participated and individuals who have not done it themselves. So since they have not, they feel like it's not happening. Oh my God, slavery was so long ago. Oh, it's 2017. We have a black president. Racism doesn't exist. How can it exist in this state? Oh, look at all this money that these athletes are making. So I watched it clearly, man. I wanted to find something that was wrong. I wanted to find something that, I fabricated, I threw up. But I honestly, man, I stand by my words.
Okay.
I don't feel like anything was wrong, anything was incorrect.
Okay, so when you say that you feel like if the complexion of your skin was different, that the fans would treat you differently, that is a very eye-opening statement. I mean, you have to pay attention to that. It would be ignorant not to. And I said on my show on Thursday, the MMA Beat, that it would probably help you if you cited some examples, not only with this statement, but also when you say that you're the worst treated champion in UFC history. And I want to put that one aside. I want to get to that in a second.
Yeah, the worst treated champion in UFC history. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? By the way, how about Ariel Helwani? Props to Ariel Helwani. He puts together a great interview. This guy really knows how to ask the questions and get the job done. I'll stop interrupting.
Because they're not maybe necessarily the same. Maybe they are. But are you able to give us examples as to some of the things that have happened to you, you believe, negatively because of the color of your skin?
I had to think about this, and I'm going to be honest with you, Ariel. This is the first time I've ever did an interview, and I took down some notes because I want to speak from the heart. I want to be real with you guys. But there are certain things that it does not make sense for me to bring up.
Okay.
There are things that have been obstacles in my life, but I've overcome those obstacles. And me bringing those things up will make it seem as if I'm complaining.
Okay.
And everybody's waiting on me.
Make it seem like you're complaining? You are fucking complaining. What are you talking about? Make it seem like you're complaining. You are complaining.
Me to be the race baiting or the race car player at the plane. But if you look at the history of our sport, and it's not even our sport, the history of the American culture, certain things are subliminally racist that people don't understand that are racist. When you say to me, Tyron, you are well-spoken, what does that mean? Does that mean I'm well-spoken comparable to all the mixed martial artists, the 500 UFC fighters on the roster? Or does that mean, as a black male in America, you're pretty well-spoken?
Is this guy fucking kidding me? Nah, seriously. Did you guys just hear what the fuck he just said? Like, because people are saying you're well-spoken, he automatically assumes it's because he's a black man. Like, I mean, am I seeing this wrong? Like, seriously. I don't get it, man. It doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't make sense to me. Like, I can't even wrap my head around this. Now, I watched the Luke Thomas show, and he says that Tyron Woodley is an intelligent man. Maybe he is an intelligent man, but man, he can't put together a sentence without making zero sense. Jesus Christ. Like, that is the most ridiculous thing. He's well-spoken. Are they saying that because you're surprised because I'm black? God damn it, man. It really, I mean, you can't make this shit up.
Comparable to other African Americans. What does that really mean? People say that, don't even understand what it means. When you say that I'm a freak athlete, does that mean that I don't work hard? That I'm going to fade in the later rounds? That I don't have great cardio? That I don't have a great skill set? It comes off to me as a man. You're a strong person. It's almost sound barbaric, like that. Hey, you're strong. You can knock people out. But if it gets to the later rounds, you might get tired. You might fade. And all those muscles come with, come at a cost. So I think that the mindset of the American public, we subliminally are insensitive that these things take place. We're insensitive to the fact that some people are discriminated on, and not black and white. You know what I mean? A buddy of mine just left here a second ago. We were talking about this. A big sponsor and a big, supporter of me. He said, in my restaurant.
Hold on. Before he keeps going, I mean, did I just hear this right? We're insensitive because we said, not just me. People say because you're muscular, you gas out in later rounds. I mean, isn't that a fucking fact? Your muscles need oxygen. If you're a if you're a muscular person and you're an MMA fighter, chances are, later on in a fight, chances are you do get gassed out. Now, I know, and I've said this in previous shows, I've said this in previous streams, that Tyron Woodley has great cardio. I've said it a million times. The guy is known for his cardio. Being a big guy, it is surprising that you're good with your cardio. It is surprising because a lot of big muscular guys, They just can't handle it. The muscles need oxygen. So that's a compliment, you fucking asshole. Like, really? Jesus Christ.
You come into my restaurant and people come in with their pants hanging down. And they come in, I want to use the bathroom. This is America. I can use your bathroom. He say, calm down. And then immediately say, well, I'll kick your Chinese butt. And he's not even Chinese. He's Vietnamese. But he said, I have to endure that. And guess what? I do it with a smile on my face. This is what I love. I'm living the American dream. You know what I mean? I didn't speak English.
He's all over the fucking place.
I was picked on. I had to learn Taekwondo to learn how to fight. But now I'm living American dream. Does he come up every single day and talk about the things that he went through in high school and people making fun of him, picking on him? No. He talks about his relationship now, his peers now. So it's not that it's in MMA fans. It's the American public. And those American public just so happen to want to pay attention to the most fastest growing, most important sport in America right now, which is mixed martial arts. So those fans have came on and brought those same ideology into our sport. They look at the African American athlete, and not only just the fans, the judges. You might have a judge that can be looking at me and waiting on me to fatigue.
Jesus fucking Christ. First of all, these judges, they're fucked up with it don't matter the color of your skin. Just, what was it? The last pay-per-view, not the pay-per-view, the last Fight Buddies that we did, what the fuck was it? It's driving me nuts. Oh, the BJ Penn fight. There was 2 fights in that card where these judges jumped to conclusions, and there was not a black person in the octagon. I don't get it. Tyron, I don't fucking get it. The judges are idiots no matter what color you are. What are you fucking saying? Ah, for fuck's sakes. Look at that face.
Waiting on me to tire. I've listened to people broadcast my fights, and I completely steamrolled Carlos Condit in the first round. And the broadcaster says, "Let's watch the technique of Carlos Condit and the cardio of Tyron Woodley."
Who gives a
Why would
fuck?
you paint that picture when I completely dominated this individual?
Who gives a fuck?
Why not watch the butt whooping that he just laid on my man and see if he can do it again for the second and third round? So the perception is there, and I think it's indirect most times, but sometimes it's blatant.
So a lot of the fans have said to me, well, okay, Tyron is saying this, fine, but what about Anderson Silva? What about John Jones? What about Rampage Jackson? There have been black stars in MMA. Why is he
Isn't Anderson Silva Brazilian? I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
different? What is your response to that?
Well, it's not that I'm different. It's the fact that I'm speaking. I was bold enough to speak on it. And I'm not going to say names, but if I can share with you guys my direct message, if I can show you the calls that I've gotten and the text message I gotten from some of those champions we're even talking about, and also Caucasian Americans and Indian Americans, all these individuals say, Tyron, it's a bold thing you're doing, but I support it. You're right, man. I have experiences, and I'm glad you said that, man, because I've been going through this for a long time, and it's just a tough spot, and I can't really say anything. Think about the athlete, not even only African Americans, just the athlete in general. When you go out on something so boldly, when you already know some people are going to, oh, you're playing the victim mindset, you're doing this, they're immediately going to jump to that boat. So when you do that, they're scared that, hey, maybe if I take a loss, I'm going to be out of this company. Maybe I won't get the sponsorship. Maybe I want to get the opportunity. So therefore, they're fearful for saying it. And I can be honest, I was one of those individuals in 2016.
Tyron Woodley has been bitching and complaining since he came into the UFC. The guy was never a bad fighter. The guy was always a good fighter. In Strikeforce, he was a beast. Came into the UFC. I'm sorry, I said you're a beast. Is that racist? Like, I'm sorry, I don't even know what the hell to say to you anymore. Like, seriously. The guy came into the UFC, really good fighter. Now, he sat out, he waited for the belt. Doesn't matter. They still gave him the chance, and he got the belt, and he won the belt. I mean, badass fight. The guy is a really good fighter. The guy is a likable guy. He seems like a good person. It's just he can't form a fucking sentence. He can't. I mean, the shit he's saying makes zero sense to me. I really can't wrap my head around it. He's just babbling and babbling and babbling about shit. And then he wonders why everyone's booing him. It doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. These other African-American fighters, I don't see any disrespect to them. I see the crowd standing up, cheering everyone on. John Jones has fucking hit and run, hopped over fence, all coked up or whatever the fuck he was on. And people still stand up and cheer for the guy. It doesn't make sense, Tyron. It really doesn't. It really doesn't. just don't fucking get it.
But when Muhammad Ali died, and I started thinking about what he did, it was never convenient. It was never comfortable. It was never the right time. Same thing with any other freedom fighter, Martin Luther King. And I'm not comparing myself, because I know some people are going to take this left field. I'm not comparing myself to the great Muhammad Ali or Martin Luther King. What I'm telling you is that at that time, they did not know they were going to be Martin Luther King and Muhammad Ali. They did not know they were going to be figures that did so much outside of their field to impact change. They did it because it was right. So I'm bringing, you know, the light to some situations that have happened to me, that have happened to some of my peers, that exist in the sport, not only in the sport, but sports in general, that we at least need to bring out on the table. As uncomfortable as it is, we need to discuss it, and we need to talk about it.
Is this something that has been bothering you for a long time, but now that you're the champion, now that you're getting more interviews, now that you're on a big stage, you feel like, okay, this is the opportunity, as uncomfortable as it may be, I would be doing a disservice to myself, to my family, if I don't talk about it? Because, you know, when you were in Strikeforce, it wasn't like this. You weren't being asked to speak so many times. You weren't doing interviews on ESPN, but you also weren't bringing up this stuff. Has it changed over time, or is it only now that you have these platforms that you want to educate people about what you're going through and what maybe some other fighters are going through as well?
It's not only about the platform. It's the fact that I have 3 young boys, and you know, I have people that are looking up to me, people that are mentored by me, that will come after me. And though I didn't bring those things up in Strikeforce, and granted, during that time in Strikeforce, I was a rising star. I was an up-and-coming challenger. I really didn't. I had the opposite treatment. You know what I mean? I was being catapulted to, you know, fighting for a title. So, you know, I wasn't really receiving that type of treatment when I was fighting with Scott Coker and those guys. I didn't really feel that, you know, I wasn't even playing field. But when I was in college, just because I don't bring it up, everybody assumes, someone said on the internet, oh, what are you complaining about? You got this cushy.
Now, okay. I let him go for a little bit. I'm like, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. He's rambling on and on and on. So not only is this guy putting all the fans to sleep, but, you know, I mean, nothing's working here. No, nothing's working. This guy is the 170 pound. I can't fucking talk, too much coffee. He's the 170 pound champ of the UFC. He should be focusing his attention and his time. Now, hey, listen, if he wants to do good for the community, which he does do that stuff. Talk like a champ. Act, preach whatever you want to preach, but just, I mean, the way he's just rambling on about nonsensical stuff, it just doesn't make any freaking sense. He's just, how are people going to buy tickets to watch this guy fight? It bores the fuck out of everybody. Even his interviews are boring. It just doesn't make sense. Where are you going with this, Tyron? Where are you going?
Your job behind the desk, and you the world champion, and you probably get paid well, and this, but you don't understand what it's took for me to get here. You don't understand what I had to endure to get here. You don't understand all the things that have been thrown at me, many of which I can't even share, that I've had to address, I've had to endure. Because I don't talk about it doesn't mean it didn't happen. So
now, listen, I'm not trying to discredit anything that happened when he was younger. If any racism or anything like that happened when he was younger, I mean, that's horrible. You know, and to speak up about that stuff, you know, I applaud you for that, because that takes a big man to do. So I do, right there, you know, this is not going to be a total bashing thing. I do get that. If you had a tough childhood, become an example. Lead by example. Instead of bitching and complaining about how you're getting mistreated, lead. Be a leader. Be a powerful person. Be a champion. Everything will fall into your lap. It will. You don't have to freaking be whining. Every time I see Tyron Woodley talk, it seems like he's wham, Tyron Woodley, wham, I'm so sad. I'm the champion and I'm sad and no one likes me.
I overcame it doesn't mean that it wasn't an obstacle or problem. And what I worry is that what if the person that comes after me, I got 3 kids. The lottery says one of my boys might end up doing professional martial arts. Do I do my sons an injustice by not stepping up and speaking out on things that I feel are incorrect and unjust in this world, in this sport? And I don't use that platform. What is our platform for?
Yeah.
Is it for me to make all this money and, you know, showboat and talk about how great I am? Or is it to speak to a large group of people all at once, knowing that everybody won't receive it, but the fact that some people might be at home they might be suffering through the same thing in a different work field. And if they can listen to it and they can say, man, you know what? I'm not the only one that's going through a situation like this. I can push through it. I can endure, and I can make it through this. Then it's worth me doing it. It's worth me risking, you know, maybe missing out on something that could have happened had I not came out and spoke on it.
I know, even for myself firsthand, people have written to me saying, thank you for talking about this stuff. I am a black man living in America, and I 100% understand where Tyron's coming from. I've been through the same things that Tyron is alluding to. So I can't imagine what some of the messages you are receiving sound like, read like. Let me ask you this. The fact that you've been talking about it on platforms like ESPN and other places as well, has it gotten worse? Because, you know, people get uncomfortable with this idea of racism and talking about racism, and then they say crazy things. Or do you feel like it's getting better? Do you feel like you are getting letters of encouragement, people writing to you and letting you know that, okay, yes, I have people who are supporting me? What has it been like over the last few days?
It's been a mixed bag, to be honest. But the people that support me, that know me, if those people will come to me and say, Tyron, you tripping. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. My father-in-law called me yesterday.
Okay.
And he told me, he said, Tyron, they persecuted Jesus. Nobody liked him. It didn't take him off his goal.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Nobody liked Barack Obama. It didn't take him off his vision, his goal. They may not like you. Who gives a F? Focus on the task at hand. You got a kid that's talented and skilled enough to take your belt from you. He wants to take your opportunities from you and your family. And if you let the social media, you let these topics of discussion distract you and take your mind off the task, he's going to take your belt. And they got real to me, because at the end of the day, I really only have this platform because I'm champion. If I was a #1 contender, if I was something different, I would not have the ability to go out and speak so boldly, because I'm in a position right now where I'm the champion of the world.
And I think after this interview, I think we could all agree, we hope you're not the champion after this, because who the fuck wants to hear this shit anymore? It's like, wow, man, woe is me, I'm the champion. It's so sad. I mean, you're killing me, Tyron. You're killing me.
I'm the best welterweight on the planet Earth in the best division in the UFC or any other organization, and I can speak boldly because I'm in that position. If I was in Warner Boy's position, it might not be as received. You know what I mean? So I agree that some people won't like it, but the people that I found, and it's been really alarming, the fighters, you know, some of the fighters, you're a professional fighter yourself. And we wonder why we have two separate unions trying to develop. We wonder why we don't have the unity amongst fighters as is. But we're supposed to unify together, hold hands, and kumbaya. That's supposed to happen now? If I messaged those guys, some guys I won't even give their name credit to, but I messaged them. I said, if you had a problem with me and what I said, you can direct message me and say, hey, man, as a former athlete or as a current athlete in this roster, I have an issue with what you're saying, man. I really don't think it's race. I really don't think it's favoritism. I really don't think it's politics. You know, can you explain this to me? Now, I don't have to explain to anybody.
Sure.
But at that point, they would have earned my respect, and they would have gotten a few experiences that I've had that made me come to that, you know, that stance. But when you go out blatantly and you do that, that literally basically just makes me come out of a bag.
What the fuck are you talking about, Tyron? Seriously. Is anyone in this chat know what Tyron's talking about? I found myself staring at the wall. Like, just looking at the wall, like, what do you... Wall, do you know what he's talking about? Bricks. Connor. Anybody. Does anybody know what Tyron's talking about? Let's take a quick break. Let's go to the chat. Let's see what you guys think about this, because I'm sorry. I can't wrap my head around it. All right. Second my house, Tyron just compared himself to Jesus. Iman Fig says this is going to get him mad fans. Mexican says, Iman, ha ha ha. Nope. Iman says, you're not looking at the other side. So, I don't know. I think both sides are falling asleep right now. Pro244I says, emphasis on mad. Mexican D-side says, nobody likes a victim mentality. And nobody does like that. You're a champion. You're not a victim. You are the UFC champion. Fuck. Let's see. For many colored people, colored people. What are we in the? What colored people? For many, what the fuck? For many colored people, what he's saying is relatable. He's doing this whole thing for fans. I understand what you're saying, Iman. I get what you're saying. He means well. He's just going about it the wrong way. That's basically what's going on. Mexican says, as I said, Iman, he has a 6-figure job with Fox, and he's a champ. What the fuck? Wait, what the fuck? He but hung about? He's just victimizing himself, and yeah, we could agree. Iman says, John Jones, Anderson Silva, Rampage, we're all known in the colored community. The only way to get fans nowadays is to do this shit. Mexican says, sad. Iman says, I bet I'm going to see this on World Star and with a completely different title. All right. Pro Tool says, no, it's not really you. I actually don't know what he's talking about. Thank you, Sega. I have no idea. Iman says, it's all communities. Pro Tool 44i, you get fans by kicking ass, not being a whining bitch about this shit. Sega My House says, I lost track when he started comparing himself to MLK and Jesus. Iman says, you need to relate. Iman, listen. I do. I totally, listen, can I relate? Probably not. I'm sure he had a tough upbringing. I'm sure he had a tough life. He's in a situation where he can be a complete role model. This is the platform to do it. There's so many people out there that are good role models that are of color, that could actually lead by example, by sitting there. I could understand if you're whining about something. I'm whining about Tyron Woodley right now. But, I mean, every time he's being interviewed, he's whining. He's complaining every single time. Show me an interview where Tyron Woodley is not complaining about something. Think about it. Every time you see him, he's complaining. It's like, I get it. You're pissed off about something, you start complaining about it, get it off your chest, that's fine. But over and over and over again, it just gets tiresome, man. And the reason why people are booing you is because you're whining and bitching every 5 fucking seconds. It's just, it is what it is. Thank you for the thumbs ups. I like that very much. It's wonderful, wonderful. It is. Right, John?
Wonderful, wonderful.
It is wonderful, wonderful. When I saw this interview, I just watched it, and I was just like this. Tyron, back to the interview.
Because now that's the exact purpose. When you say, hey, Tyron, oh, I knew you in college, you was a freakish athlete. No, I wasn't a damn freakish athlete. I was a hard worker. I was dedicated. I had a strong skill set. I had a strong will. I had a strong mindset. And I wouldn't take no for an answer. That's why I was a great athlete. Not because I had this extra calf muscle and I was extra strong because I was African American.
Did he just say it because I have an extra calf muscle? What the Holy fuck. Oh my goodness.
That's a slap in my face. You know what I mean? I have an issue with that when people say, oh, watch Tyron in the later rounds. I'm partly glad that the fight went to a draw. I'm glad we went to 5 rounds. I'm glad I did knock him out immediately because everyone would have said after that Tyron Woodley probably would have faded in the later.
Tyron, my friend, you just contradicted yourself. You said you wish you put Wonder Boy away. And now all of a sudden you're glad that you went the distance with him just so you could show your cardio? What the fuck, man? Dude.
Rounds.
I heard.
You know what I mean? So yeah, you know, I'm getting a mixed review, but I'm getting a lot of support. And I agree with you. Maybe I did need to come out today and speak on some of the particulars that happened so people don't think that I'm just, I'm race baiting and using a race card. And what does it mean to use a race card, Ariel? When you think about the race card, what does that mean to you, or race baiting?
I mean,
does anyone in the chat know the answer? A race card? You hear it all the time. Race card, race baiting. Anyone? Anyone have an answer? Anyone?
Some people feel like when you talk about these things, you're trying to play on emotions. I'm not one to. I've never used that phrase to describe someone in sports.
Ariel's lying.
Sports or in the public eye, but you play on these emotions, you play on these hot topics to elicit a response out of the audience. So it could be, a white man talking about certain things about other races. It could be a black man talking about certain things that he's gone through to just kind of get people riled up inside, because this is a topic that makes people very emotional. That's at least how I think of it.
Okay, so race baiting could be perceived as something that you're purposely doing to try to rile people up and using race to do so.
In maybe a
okay?
disingenuous
The second
way.
thing,
Yeah. Right.
yeah, in a disingenuous way. And the second thing could be the race card could be you utilizing your race as an excuse on why you weren't allotted certain opportunities and you were not successful. You didn't make it because someone basically held you down, right?
Yep.
So those are two separate things,
Yep.
but they kind of go hand in hand.
Who is holding you down? Who? You're the UFC champion. You're the UFC champion. Who the fuck is holding you down? You're holding us down with this interview.
So if I'm the champion of the world, how would me speaking on race be the race card? I've overcome those obstacles. I have made it to this point. I am the champion of the world. So me playing a race card would be silly. And I feel like I do enough things in
It is silly.
my life, being a stunt guy, an actor, an analyst on Fox. You know,
Now, here's the deal. See what he said? Actor, analyst on Fox. He has every opportunity. If everyone was being racist, they would say, no, you can't do this. You're not allowed to. You're black. You can't do this. Like, what? He's totally contradicting himself. Like, and then when he contradicts himself, he tries to dig himself out of his grave. And it's silly.
a father, a husband, a gym owner, entrepreneur, someone that gives back to the community, that mentors, trains kids. I have enough to get the conversation going that I don't need to use race to bait in more attention. You know what I mean? I know how to keep myself in the conversations. It's not rocket science. It's not on accident. I know how to keep myself in the mix. I don't need race to do that. So when I hear those statements, that's how it feels to me. And it really feels like that person that says that immediately it comes off as insensitive. Either they're, like I was saying with Sage and Wonder Boy, they may have never.
Who knew that Tyron Woodley is insensitive? I mean, he's very sensitive. Sorry. We're insensitive and he's sensitive. Who knew? I thought he's the chosen one. Or should he be called the sensitive one? Maybe he should be called the sensitive one instead of the chosen one. He is the most sensitive champion in UFC history. Apparently.
Never experienced it. They may have never saw it in their life. Because you've never seen it. It's like me saying, hey, I've never went to war. I've never been a vet. But if I see someone, walking up and down Los Angeles streets chanting his army chant, I'm not going to be like, oh, man, the war was so long ago, he should have just went to the VA and got help. I don't understand what he went through. So, therefore, I can't make a stance on what he's going through currently, you know what I mean, or how to, get him out of the situation. So.
And at the end of the day, you probably just want people to listen to you and have an open mind and heart. And if you're saying it, I hope that they are coming away with this believing that you are speaking the truth and not being disingenuous. Let me ask you this. You also said that you feel like you're the worst treated champion in UFC history. Do you also think that that is because the color of your skin or for other reasons?
Good question.
I'm gonna give an example real quickly,
Okay.
And then it'll kind of put it into play.
Okay.
I had a photographer that was shooting me for a fight, and he came to me as a friend and said, Tyron, I think you need to ease up a little bit, brother. You kind of going a little hard in the paint. Maybe you should back up a little bit on some of the statements, and maybe if you were a little bit softer, you would get more endorsements, you would get more exposure, and they can use you more for this. You don't want to have this stance because if you do, then you're gonna put a flag on yourself.
Sounds like a smart
and I
man.
said, you know what I said to him? I said, I said, okay, I'll take that into consideration. Okay, I just left it there. In my mind, I knew that he only knew probably 1/20th of what I actually went through. I don't speak about it.
Sure.
Because I don't allow it to stop me. He came back to me after my fight in New York City, UFC 205, and he said, with tears in his eyes, he said, I apologize to you. He said, I apologize to you. In all my years of covering this sport, I've never seen a champion treated this way. I've never seen a champion been placed in a position like this. I've never seen his opponent or his adversary as a contender advertised so greatly, and you almost seemed as you was a challenger. He said,
It's because no one likes you. It's because you whine and complain about everything. What are you talking about? Now, okay, let's address this real quick. There are UFC fighters that get babied. It is happening. It's definitely happening. I don't think it's a race thing. I really don't. You have 2 meal tickets for the UFC. You have your Conor McGregor and you have your Ronda Rousey. These guys, the reason why they are where they are is because of the mouth. It's how they perform in the cage. It's a lot of things. It's their charismatic attitude. Now, Ronda Rousey, a lot of people don't like Ronda Rousey. A lot of people like Ronda Rousey, but there's something about her. She has that it factor. Conor McGregor, the same thing, the it factor. Tyron Woodley needs to just revamp, pull everything back together, and get the it factor. He can win fights. He can dominate fights. He's a very good fighter that could possibly be a great fighter. But if he keeps complaining and whining, look at this interview. Look at it. He's constantly whining. All I hear is whining, whining, whining. No one wants that as a champion. No one wants that. No one could root for that. A whining, whining person. Now, there's some things that he's saying that makes total sense. Some things that he could support and push. And I'm totally for it. But when you're whining and complaining constantly, it's never going to happen. You're not going to be the superstar that you want to be.
Apologize to you, and now I understand. He said, more importantly, I don't even understand how you've been able to operate this long under these conditions.
Wow.
You know, so me coming out and me speaking about, you know, my treatment. Now, granted, they called me on the right day. The reporter, Carrie Champion, she has a way of getting me, you know, to say what I said. I might have woke up on the wrong side of the bed, but either way it go, I don't take it back. It got this discussion out. And the UFC is contacting me.
Oh.
The PR people have contacted me.
Okay.
And they want to say, hey, we hear that you're having this situation, and we want to understand why. We want to understand, how do you feel like that? We want to understand how we can do better. What do you think that we could do that we haven't been doing? What makes you think you're the worst treated champion in the sport? What opportunities do you feel like should have been allotted to you as a champion that you were not?
Subtle, and it really had no reason to be in there, but I subtly
Fuck me
mentioned
in
the
the goat
Columbus
ass.
Blue Jacket.
Fuck me in the goat ass. Tyron, I lost you.
Day and age, we can use good role.
Where was I?
We subliminally are insensitive that these things take place. Left field. I'm not comparing myself to the great Muhammad Ali.
No, I lost you.
Too. So I can't imagine what some of the messages you are receiving sound like, read like. Let me ask you this: the fact,
you know, I'm getting a mixed review, but I'm getting a lot of support, and I agree with the play.
Okay.
I had a photographer that was
All right,
shooting
we're
me.
almost there. Fuck me.
You can give us your list of things that you have going on, your events, and all these different things. And
Where was I? Fuck.
And the UFC is contacting me.
Oh.
The PR people have contacted me.
Okay.
And they want to say, hey, we hear that you're having this situation, and we want to understand why. We want to understand, how do you feel like that? We want to understand how we can do better. What do you think that we could do that we haven't been doing? What makes you think you're the worst treated champion in the sport? What opportunities do you feel like should have been allotted to you as a champion that you were not given? How can we move forward? Maybe you can give us your list of things that you have going on, your events, and all these different
I bet that list is so long that the UFC would fall asleep halfway through reading that list.
things, and maybe we can get behind it. So the step has already been taken to fix the problem. That was the reason why I'm speaking out. Not to race bait, not to get people to argue, but if it wasn't a problem.
If it wasn't to race bait or get people to argue, why would you say that Wonder Boy's fans are burning crosses in their yards? I mean, what the fuck?
And it wasn't a current situation that exists in the sport, why would my promoter be contacting me on how to solve the problem? Now, hats off to them, because they didn't have to do that. They could have said, okay, well, you thought you was the worst treated champion then, boom, we finna really make it bad for you. But they didn't do that. So hats off to them, because now we're taking steps to make sure I don't feel like that, and make sure no other fighter ever on the roster feels that way.
So are you confident that things will change now? Do you think that you speaking up about it on the biggest of platforms will lead to change? And come March 4th, you know, the build up, the fight week, there were things that clearly bothered you about the way it was positioned between you and Wonder Boy. Do you think things will change now? Are you confident that you'll see that?
I mean, the biggest, everybody's waving me down and signaling me, make sure I'm saying nothing crazy. I think the biggest thing I can do is go out there and make a bold statement.
Okay.
We all know that if I'm not the champion, let me lose this fight. Everybody can be like, oh, see, that's what you get, race bait that. Oh, the race car didn't help you win that fight. Like, if I lose this fight, everybody is going to basically move on. I'm going to be pressed down to the bottom of the topic of discussion. The best thing I can do to empower anybody and to inspire anybody to, in spite of, go out there and dominantly take out my opponent, walk away as if I expected to win. Don't overly celebrate. Don't overly bring up nonsense, but go out there and just show them what I'm all about and show them how I get down. That's the best thing I can do.
And so, okay, so now here we are. What are we, a month and a half away? Do you feel, based on the conversations that you may have had publicly or privately, I should say, with the UFC, do you feel like they are hoping that you lose so they don't have to deal with this anymore? Do you feel like the world is against you? Do you feel like the promotion is against you?
Against?
No, I don't think that the promotion is against me, you know, and I would hate if they ever just wanted somebody to lose. They're in the business of matching up and compelling matchups and fights.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be in the business of picking who's going to win them. So, no, I don't feel that.
Okay.
You know, but at the end of the day, I do think that it was important for me to explain. Now, granted, I didn't get into the specifics and details and exact, he did this to me, and on this fight, this happened, and I didn't get an extra corner pass for this, and then my locker room was like that. I'm not getting into all that. That's petty, and it's not going to change anything. The thing is that everyone needs to know that this was not a cry for attention. Man, I do enough things in my life that I'm going to get attention anyway.
This is not a cry for attention? Really? This is not a cry for attention? And you don't feel that the UFC... You're making zero sense.
This was a legitimate, from my personal experiences, things that have happened that people that are involved know exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay.
That from this day forward, we're going to get those things changed. And I've done, like, Ariel, you know, I take my own propaganda in my own hand. I do my own champ life. I do my own champ camp series. I do my own podcast. I go out and make my own opportunities.
Amazing.
But if the person that's promoting me, sorry if I froze it, if the person that's promoting me, if all these networks are talking about picking up my champ camp series and my champ life series, and major companies want to endorse it and get behind it, and they see value, and they see episodes after episodes and seasons that we can do this for myself and maybe even other athletes, I'm going to need for my promoter to not be the last one to take notice. If it was somebody else, like the Mac Life, that thing immediately jumped fire. And it's the same stuff every episode.
Why do you think the Mac Life would jump fire, whatever the fuck that means? Like, seriously. Why do you think? Because he's fucking Conor McGregor. He is on a different level, not athletically. Is that even a word? I don't even know. But he's not like a... He's not... He is just a personality. He's got the whole package. Everything. He is Conor McGregor. You're putting yourself in that category right now? I mean, that's why the Mac Life got picked up. I mean, let's be honest. That's why it got pushed. The guy takes the UFC and throws it on his back and it's like, let's fucking go. I'm taking you guys with me. That's why. I'm salty.
Flashy cars, money, talking crap, got this, got that. That's all it is. I ain't seeing him in a Boys and Girls Club. I'm not seeing him giving back to the community and shelters.
Maybe because no one wants to watch that. I mean, listen, good for you for doing that. I mean, that is very commendable. It really is. But no one's going to sit on YouTube and say, hey, let's watch this guy goes to the Boys and Girls Club. Get the fuck out of here.
I'm not seeing him impact. I'm not seeing him network with other people. This one has substance that can go far. And I brought those things up among several other issues and blatant facts and statistics. And at the end of the conversation, they were like, he's right. He's right. And that was the end of the conversation. So if it goes the way that I planned and, we really make these changes, then it'd be great. If not, I don't expect anything from anybody. It's my career. I'm going to do what I need to do for my career, and I've always done that, and I'm going to continue to do that.
So I said...
So what was the point of that? I don't understand. You went on that whole rant. I'm confused. What was the point of that whole statement? Can someone explain that to me? I don't, maybe I just stopped paying attention. Maybe that's what it was, but what was the whole point of that? You're just going to keep on doing your thing, all right?
Said on Thursday, I said at the top of this show and interview that maybe examples would help people understand where you're coming from. But I take that back now. I think what people wanted to hear and want to hear is if you're being honest with them. If you truly feel this way,
Yeah.
or I mean, if they don't feel this now, then I don't know. You know, there's nothing more that you can say. I mean, you could see it in your face.
And I'm not going to change their opinion. I'm not going to change their thought. You know, we were free. Everybody got the right to express how they feel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, and there's someone out there right now. I don't know how the heck they did it, but it has my same Twitter handle. So if you guys are getting some crazy stuff from this person, it has my same Twitter handle, same avatar picture, same background picture. They do say in a bio that it's a parody or whatever, but who looks at the bio? Someone's out there and they're making it even worse.
Yeah.
So people have that freedom to express what they want to express.
Well, people need to look for that blue check. That blue check right there next to your name will tell you if it's verified or not. Do you feel like you got everything out? Do you feel like you?
I'm looking at my notes. It's funny you say that. I'm looking at my notes to make sure I didn't leave nothing. I know I talked a little too much.
No.
But you know, one of my friends, a guy named Quita, one that came in from the restaurant, and he said his wife just came from the Million Woman March.
Yep.
Basically, I realized that it's not about black and white, man. It's about pointing out things that are not right, things that are unjust, things that are not equal. Nobody should be treated.
All right, if it's not about black and white, then why did you say that Wonder Boy's fans are burning crosses in the yard, and he feels entitled because of the color of his skin and all this bullshit? Then he turns around and says that it's not Wonder Boy, it's the fans. And Wonder Boy looks baffled and stuff like that. But it's not black and white. It's not any of that stuff. The flip-flopping is just, it really is mind-blowing. It really is. Like, what are you trying to say? Just make the point. If it is white and black, it's cool. You could say whatever the fuck you want. You're entitled to your opinion. Everyone is. So make the point, stick to your point, and go with it. But you're all over the place. Look at this interview. It's all over the place. It's everywhere. It's all over. Watching for as long as we've been watching, I have no idea what you're talking about. I really don't. 1 minute you're saying this, and then you're contradicting yourself the next minute. Like, seriously, what the fuck? Does anyone know what's going on in this interview? I don't know. It's like a sleeping pill.
Any type of way, because of their color, their race, their gender, their social, economic status. Nobody should be treated. We are human. At the end of the day, I don't walk around thinking that I'm some big deal because I'm the world champion. Society chose that athletes in our sport were put on a certain pedestal. I didn't put myself there. I don't think my job is any more important than a lawyer, a doctor, a firefighter, a police officer, a school teacher. I think we all have gifts from God. I think we all are put on this earth to do some good. But at the end of the day, society chooses, who they want to make a celebrity. That's not my choice. I'm in this sport. I feel like I'm the chosen one because all the stuff I've been through in my life, that's where my nickname comes from.
The chosen one.
I feel like God low-key chose me for this, for all the adversity that I had to come through. I had to excessively work.
So God chose you to put us all to sleep, apparently.
Work for everything I had. And I always feel like I had to work harder than the people that were on the other side. I feel like, I've had to, push through. I've had to endure. I've had to wait a lot of times and watch my peers be successful and wait for my chance. You know what I mean? And all of that, I never gave up. I mean, you watched this in Strikeforce. I could have crawled under the rock after Nate Marquardt knocked my head off. You know what I mean? But I came back strong. Every time I got knocked down, I came back stronger. So I think it's something to be said about that. And he sat here and he was talking about their experience at the Million Woman March. And he said, my wife asked me, if you froze time right now and everybody had a chance to reset, right, and come back as somebody different, would you come back as an African American?
What?
If you had a chance to stop right now, freeze, and come back to Earth, would you personally choose to come back as an African American right now?
Okay, can I answer that? Before Ariel answers that, I'm going to answer that. I'm going to tell you guys a little story. When I was a young lad, I was a very big basketball fan. The Detroit Pistons were my team, and I thought for sure I'd be a basketball player. I actually had dreams and wished that I was a black man. As you can see with my red beard and my pale white skin, that never happened. But yeah, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a black guy. That's what I wanted to do. I just want to be a successful black guy as a kid. There you go. I opened up to the MMA-holes. So what are you trying to say? If you get reincarnated, would you choose to be a black man? Is he fucking for real? Like, is he for real, like, saying that? Like, really? some of the most successful people that I idolize are black. I mean, very wealthy men, athletes that I idolize that are black. So I find that a little insulting. I really do, because what matters? What does the color matter right now? We're at a day and age where color doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Is there racism? Yes, there is racism. It's an unfortunate truth. But to say you wouldn't get reincarnated and become a black man or black woman is just nuts. It really is nuts. Where are you going, Tyron? Where are you going? You're just losing me. You're losing me.
Oh, me? You're asking me?
You know what I mean? If I had, no, I'm not asking
Okay.
you directly, but I'm saying,
Yeah.
if I had 20 people in the room,
Sure.
how many people would say I choose to come back as an African American?
I hear you. You know, no better time. No,
that's a strong statement.
Right. Absolutely no better time than now.
So Ariel Helwani is just like, nope, I don't want to be black. That's it. Ariel's like, nah, I'm not going to be black. That's not going to happen. He doesn't even answer the question. He just avoids it. I would have been like, yeah, when I was a kid, I wanted to be black. That's why I need to interview Tyron Woodley. I would speak the truth. Ariel, you should have answered that question. Shame on you.
Now to talk about this stuff, and I know that people like to use sports and as an escape valve, and they kind of feel uncomfortable or maybe upset. Oh, don't bring these real life issues into our sports. But guess what? Sports involve real people with real lives, with real issues, and like I said, I give you a lot of credit for. It takes a lot of guts. It takes a lot of guts to talk about this stuff because, you know, in this day and age, people are very accessible to you and they could say a lot of things, hurtful things. And I commend you for going out and telling us about what you've experienced and speaking from the heart. So good on you, Tyron Woodley. I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you clearing the air. I appreciate you talking about this stuff. And I hope that you are not deterred by a few messages here or there. I hope that you...
He said turd.
You continue being real and telling us how you really feel. I think a lot of people respect that from you.
All right, make sure you guys, UFC 209, March 4th, buy the pay-per-view. I will go out there and put a whooping on my man, Wonder Boy, and we will make this statement even stronger.
All right. All the best to you, Tyron. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
All right.
Tyron, the chosen one, Woodley. There he is. There is the interview with Ariel Helwani. It happened today. Okay, guys. So now we just walked through that interview. We heard what Tyron had to say. He got to get his point across, many points. I need to know right now, what do you guys think? Now, I will be doing the Wednesday show. It's happening, but I needed to come on today to talk to you guys. I need to talk you guys through it. Let me just give you my final thoughts real quick on this. I don't know what to say about Tyron Woodley. I always want to like this guy because, like I said in the beginning, I feel that Tyron Woodley is the type of person that's good. I feel like he is a good person. I feel like he can be a likable guy. Watching him fight, I'm on board, man. What he's done in the past, the Carlos Condit thing was freaking awesome. The way he snapped his fucking leg. I mean, dude, that was beast mode. And freaking against Robbie Lawler to put him away and grab his belt, snatch his belt away from him. This is not a one-sided thing, guys. I am a Tyron Woodley fan inside the cage. No doubt about it. I find the way he fights, it's very respectable. He's a very well-rounded fighter. And, I mean, the guy does it all. He really does do it all. He can put people away. He can wrestle. He can do it all. But if you want to be a superstar, you need to act like a superstar. If you want to be an MMA god, a sports icon, you need to act like a sports icon. Now, I'm not saying you should just be a puppet and do whatever the freaking people tell you to do. I'm not saying that. You could be outspoken. Muhammad Ali was outspoken about everything. But Muhammad Ali had swag. Swag Muhammad Ali had. Look at Floyd Mayweather. I'm not a huge fan of him and what he does, but the guy's got swag. The guy does his thing. Yeah, he's throwing money around. Maybe that's not your thing, but Muhammad Ali didn't really, he didn't give a fuck, Muhammad Ali. Everyone could create their own personality, and I feel like you could create yours too, Tyron. I really do. But you're not doing it. Every time I hear you interviewed or see you interviewed, it's the same song and dance. It's constant complaining. All I hear is wah, 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 over and over and over again. Please, Tyron, just take a step back, take a deep breath, and just reevaluate what you're doing. I'm going to check the chat one more time, and I'm going to head the fuck out of here. Hello, chat. How are you? I've missed you all. I see Marlene is here. Hello, Marlene. I came back, Black. I want to be and 8'4" or something tall like that. All right, Philip is here. What's up, Philip? I beat Tom Cruise. Okay. I could use my witchcraft to shut him the fuck up. No, that's not a bad deal. Marlon says, laugh my ass off. Mexican gives the hands. Marlon, how's it going, Marlon? All right, not bad, better now. Yay! Shake my head, laugh my ass off. Come through here. Player hating. It's what I do. Philip says, I felt like he was a true professional. Then wanted what Connor has. So he got greedy and, yes, pulled the race card. That's what Philip says. Pearl244I says, hate the game, yo. Marlon says, Mexican, haha, how are you doing? I'm all right. Everyone's doing what they like to say.
Wonderful, wonderful.
That's right, guys. Now, guys, if I know the Tyron Woodley interview kind of sucked, but I felt I needed to walk through with you guys and talk about this. I felt I needed to get my point across. So if you guys like this stuff, if you want more of this stuff, let me know in the comments after the stream is done. If you missed this, hit that bell, because apparently people aren't getting notified. Hit the bell. Keep subscribed. Stay subscribed. If you're new to the show, we do a show every Wednesday night. We are wonderful, wonderful. We are the MMA-HOLES Live. Thank you for the donations, the tips. It was very wonderful, wonderful seeing you guys. And with that being said, I'm getting the fook out of here. I'm going to see you on Wednesday. Tyron Woodley, listen to my words. Listen to me. You can be a superstar. You can be an MMA hole. You can be wonderful, wonderful. Guys, kids, fans around the world, don't be an a-hole. Be an MMA hole. Let's dance.